Alright, so in this video I wanted to talk about discounting. It's a kind of a mental thing. One of the things I used to struggle with, and actually I don't struggle with it as much as I used to, ever since I probably got into powerlifting, which is sort of interesting. Anyways, I used to struggle with depression, and it used to be pretty difficult to kind of just deal with some of my thoughts. And I'm going to share you a little excerpt from a really favorite book of mine that really kind of helped me get through some tough times. When you write people off this way, you catalog in your mind's eye every single thing about them you don't like. That's the mental filter. And ignore or discount their good points, disqualifying the positive. This is how you set up a false target for your anger. In reality, every human being is a complex mix of positive, negative, and neutral attributes. So this is the name of the book is Feeling Good, The New Mood Therapy by Burns MD, and there'll be a link in the description. I can't find an audiobook, which kind of sucks because I would love to. Don't usually have a whole lot of time to read, or I don't have the patience to read. But what I want to talk about is discounting, because this is something that I'm very notorious for, and you may have the same issue, which kind of exacerbates kind of our shitty feelings. And discounting simply means discounting the positive. It's like the only reason why I was able to deadlift more weight is because I'm using a Texas power bar, right? Which may or may not, there's obviously some truth in it. Actually, you know what, this is me, again, railing on myself. This is, again, a problem. But we do this to ourselves. And if you do this, it's something that I want to talk about in some other videos as soon as I can recall some of this information. But it's something that has to stop. Because ultimately what you're doing is you're not really doing anything that's serving you in a positive manner. I think it's useful to kind of have some objective information, but kind of more of what I wanted to talk about is just so often like there may be something good that's happening to you right now, whether it be a PR in lifting, whether it be maybe your diet, maybe your weight, maybe what's happening in your life. And you might say something like, the only reason why I have these things, or I'm doing so well, or blah, 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 is because of this. Essentially, you're disqualifying what it is that allows you to have what you have. And you're sort of nullifying deserving it, or discounting how great it is. And a lot of time we tend to make all the bad stuff in our life kind of come to fruition in our head. It's sort of like this really cool exercise I remember that Anthony Robbins did. I saw a seminar like at the Learning Annex years ago, over 10 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, less than, somewhere around there. Anyways, he said like, I want you to look at everything around the room, or just do it right now. I'll do this exercise. Look in the room and look around for a second, and see what's red, right? Think about what is red. Close your eyes. Now I want you to tell me what is brown. That was the exercise. And of course, as you spend the time memorizing everything that's kind of red around you, close your eyes, and then he asks you to see what is brown. You can't remember because you're focusing on the red. And that's essentially, that's a very simplified version of kind of why we end up being focusing on all the bad stuff, right? And it's a bad habit. Squats is a big example for me. I have this tendency to like think about my knee hurting, or I think about how bad it feels on my back, and instead of thinking about crushing the weight, which of course is not always easy to do, it's never easy to do that. But I'm just saying, like, the point is that crushing the weight is definitely something you should, I think, is the most important thing. But sometimes you don't have that kind of mental idea or that of courage, confidence. You don't have that confidence to do that, but you somehow think about all the bad shit like Snap City happening. But there's something else I could focus on. I could focus on getting the first rep, or the second rep, or the third rep without pain free. Those are the things I can focus on that will serve me. They're not as good as crushing the weight, but they're believable enough to me. And I think that's kind of like sort of the baby steps to trying to dig yourself out of this hole. There's this saying I used to say this is what's sort of interesting. When I was a manager, it was sort of like this fake it till you make it attitude. So even though I wasn't feeling that great, I would have to force myself to kind of stay happy, because I need to hit my goals and sales and really start to really obviously get the training staff to sell more training and stay motivated. And I would say this to one of my good friend, or a friend now, but he was working under me as a trainer. I would say, stop digging a hole. You need to stop digging, because he let his negative thoughts affect his behavior. And essentially, that's one of the best parts about making these videos on YouTube, is essentially when I talk about something like this, it kind of helps me stop doing these behaviors, because it's the hardest thing to do. there's something that's for whatever is in your past or some bad habits. And I think if you're going to want to move forward and make further progress, you have to get that out of your head. And kind of what, tomorrow I have my powerlifting meet, my deadlift meet, and I am very confident, and one of the reasons why I'm very confident is I have some videos on YouTube where I deadlifted 545, and in my head I know that was a solid lift, and it wasn't with a Texas bar, so that means I can easily hit 565, which means I'm pretty confident about my opening, which is 529, and then my second attempt, which is going to be a PR in competition, 565, and then my third attempt is probably going to be 585. I want to jump to 600, but I'm not sure that's going to be in the cards. It's going to depend how I feel after that 565. That 565 feels like a ton of bricks. I may go for 580 or 575 or under 580. Not such a big jump. But anyways, those are just kind of some thoughts I wanted to share with you. Hope you got something out of it. If you I guess I'll talk more about this stuff because I really think that it's one of those things. Being able to master how you feel is probably the most important thing in being able to be successful, not just in powerlifting, but in anything that you do. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.